Hi everyone, Syrian Girl here. While the holiday season is almost over and many people are returning to work, US President Obama and British Prime Minister David Cameron are giving everybody's hard-earned tax dollars to these people in Syria.
Osama Bin Laden مرعب أمريكا وبقوة الإيمان وسلاحنا البيكا.
One of my first interviews I did with 108 Morris 108, I discussed Al-Qaeda, how Al-Qaeda is a tool of the CIA. I will link this in the bottom bar. I'd like to touch on that again in regards to the new developments. These rebels, as the MSM likes to call them, singing their praises to Al-Qaeda, really believe that they are fighting America and that Osama Bin Laden was behind 9/11. They are nothing but pawns. They do not realize that they are being used by the US as a proxy army and it causes belly for future wars. And they are often sent into areas to incite sectarian violence and to create a divide and conquer environment. This is what happened in Iraq. I see them as equivalent to those brainwashed Americans who want to kill all Arabs. Al-Qaeda has become sort of a meme, something that the pawns themselves label themselves with, even if they've never actually been into contact with the core organization. You can see this meme spreading even all the way to Australia. This is why it is better to refer to them as groups with Al-Qaeda-like ideologies rather than Al-Qaeda itself. Higher up Al-Qaeda figures have links to the CIA. For example, Osama Bin Laden himself had links to the CIA. They are rarely ever seen in public except on sketchy videos, and usually they have a middleman to give orders on the ground, and they stick to their propaganda through their media arm, Al Jazeera. Now, Al Jazeera, which is Qatar's state news agency, Qatar being the Gulf country who has the greatest number of US bases in the Middle East, has quite a good working relationship with Al-Qaeda and often feature their videos. In fact, one of their journalists, Ahmed Zaidan, who also covered Syria, interviewed Osama bin Laden twice. This is the irony of the world we live in. While the US is pretending to have a war on terror, they are meanwhile funding it and creating it, just like their war on drugs. It is the Syrian troops who are really fighting Al-Qaeda and for their homeland, and it is these people that Clinton wants to see dead. While the Australian Foreign Minister Bob Carr has praised the Syrian rebels and urged them to commit more assassinations, he has turned around and said that any Australian citizen that goes to fight in Syria could face a 20-year jail term upon their return to Australia. He wants to send terror to Syria, but he would rather it die there rather than return the problem to Australia. And these young and stupid pawns don't even realize they are being used as cannon fodder. And Matt Van Dyke, who fought alongside Al-Qaeda in Libya and who is now helping them in Syria, is given praise by CNN. The flag has been switched. American people are now supposed to applaud acts like this. Van Dyke has even gone as far as to support Jabhat al-Nusra, one of the insurgent groups in Syria that even the US was forced to label as terrorists after a stream of suicide bombings and beheadings. 10 years ago, it would have been labeled a traitor, but now we're supposed to applaud him as a freedom fighter. This Matthew Van Dyke character is quite interesting in that he himself said that joining the CIA was his lifelong dream and that he passed all the tests to get into the CIA, and yet he doesn't claim that he is an agent. So I will leave it to the viewer to make up their minds about that one.
I initially got my degree with the intention of working for the CIA. So that's why I got a degree in Middle East Security Studies. That was a dream I had. It was a long, long time ago. I got through the employment process and went to Langley, met my future coworkers. Was doing pretty well in the process, and then I had a problem with the polygraph because I would just get too nervous.